Good afternoon, everybody. All right, make sure I'm going to move this camera over a tiny bit. And we'll just let everybody jump on. It is a beautiful day here in Calgary. It really feels like spring is coming, and we are so ready for this. It's been a really chilly couple weeks, and I think everybody was just feeling like they really needed a little bit of spring. So, feeling like it's here. I'm feeling really excited about doing some spring feeling crafting. And of course, these watercolor stamps, or these stamps from Art Impression, are perfect for watercoloring. And this is the first time I tried them with the Clickart markers, so I'm really excited to show you that. They worked really nicely. Alrighty. So I'll give you a look at what we're using today, as well as some of the other products. I'm going to show you these two. These are from the encouragement bundle. I think most of these are in that encouragement bundle. So I'll give you a look at this. We're just using these ones today, but if you look on the Art Impressions website, they do have a bundle and it's beautiful. Hi, Jackie. Thanks so much. If you love watercoloring, this is just kind of a little taste of watercoloring. Um, I wasn't sure about my watercoloring flower um, technique, so I thought I wouldn't do some kind of huge project. But this was actually really easy, and it's given me some confidence to go ahead and do something a little bit bigger. But the Art Impressions YouTube channel is really great as well. And they have Facebook and YouTube videos that are amazing. And they show like all kinds of details and how to create scenes. My dog has decided she's going to scratch and squeak things right now. So I'm not sure what that's about, but okay, there, lay down. Hopefully she'll just decide to lay down. Okay, so this is the card we're making, and then I'm going to give you a look at those products in that encouragement bundle. And it was really easy. Like, I'm very excited to do some more of these. And how is everybody today? I hope you guys are all fantastic. We've got some Nuvo drops that we're going to use today. We've got some glitter glue and this Distress Archival ink. And of course the Click Art markers. And the container that we're using, we're kind of customizing our own little container using these matching papers. Well, they're matching because I matched the colors to the paper. So that's a really great way to coordinate your whole project. And these background papers are just so soft and beautiful. And again, I think this is just such a lovely spring project. Hi, Lori. So this one here is the glass container set, 5921. And you get these 4 rubber stamps. So it gives you these containers and Art Impressions stamps. There's so many that are great for scene building. So you can kind of build your collection and then mix and match. These ones are the long stem floral set. So you get all these different ones. We used most of them in this. So we'll have a look at how to put that together. And this paper pack is called Encouragement Journal Series, Encouragement Paper Pack. And it is, I think the paper is in the bundle too, but you can just double check when you check on the website. Then these sentiments are so beautiful. And these are called the Encouragement Sentiment Set. And there's lots of helping people feel better or sending them get well wishes, as well as just, you're thinking about people. I believe in you. Keep your head up. You've got this. So lots of encouragement sentiments, which I think we all need. And it's so lovely to get a card in the mail, whether you're feeling a little bit down or under the weather, or if you're just sending something to a friend to say hi. I think everyone appreciates that. And then these other ones are the floral bouquet set. We're not using these today, but I wanted to show you because they're so beautiful. So again, you can pair any of these blooms with those containers, or there's more containers here. This is the farmhouse container set. I really love that teacup. Isn't that sweet? Hi, Maria and Melissa. Hi, Melanie, Diane, and Christine and Cindy. Hello, Sandy. Welcome to everybody. I don't see everybody's name, but welcome if you've popped in. I also really love this. Isn't that nice? So you get that. That's the farmhouse container set. This one is the bud vase set. Really any kind of container you want is available. These ones are a little smaller scale, really pretty. And then these ones here are really nice as well. This is the floral long stem bouquet set. No, this 1 second to distract my puppy. She's misbehaving. And these ones I really like that they've got all the flowers together. The stems work really nicely to go in that container. That's the one that we're using today, except we're paper piecing it. And there's another long stem foliage set. Or is that the one? No, that's different than we're using. This is the long stem floral set. So this is more leaves, that looks like, in grasses. So you could definitely pair that with these or with any of the other ones. And I love hydrangeas. And this is the hydrangea set. And look how cute that is in that. And they've even added like some details to make it look rusty there. And you've got these beautiful flowers. I don't know how well you can see that on the camera, but these ones are the rubber. So beautiful, beautiful stamps. And of course, they have lots of beautiful stamps on their website. And we're going to use the Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L. We've got some foam tape, and we've got the Easy Runner in the white permanent, which sticks really nicely. Well, Melinda, Jackie linked the bundle. Perfect. So if you want to check that out. And that's pretty much all our supplies. These are the Clickart markers. So these are from Zebra Pen. I've used these for watercoloring before, and they are very cool. You just click the marker, and then you get the marker pops out. There's no cover to put on. When you get them, it comes with a little black tab that's just simply for when they're new. You throw that away as soon as you get them. They don't dry out. You just click them open or closed, and they are beautiful for watercoloring. Now, I do find that, no, I do find that I like to use the Bristol Smooth watercolor, or sorry, it's vellum paper. Uh, s- it's a Strathmore brand, and it's very smooth and it is great for watercoloring, and that's what I've used here. I did try these with watercolor paper too, and they worked really well. So either one, I'm just using the Bristol Smooth here. And the markers work really well on it. So we're going to be coloring the stamps and stamping them on. And we are going to put this puppy here. It's like Murphy's Law, right? As soon as you go live. Okay, so let's move this stuff out of the way. And I just picked out some colors that I felt like would match the papers. That's kind of how I started. And then went from there, and ones that were kind of like spring flower feeling. So I have a piece of Bristol cardstock. Cocoa? No, no. And we are going to stamp on here. We are just going to stamp right directly on here. We're going to use just a stamp block, and we've got this little container. So we're just going to adhere it to that. And then we're going to take the color that we're going to use. We are going to paper piece it, but I do want to put the first layer down just so I know where I'm going to put my flowers, and then we're going to paper piece the top of it. So basically we're going to stamp it 3 times. We've got our pattern paper here that we're going to use for our paper piecing, and this is going to be towards the bottom. And all I'm doing is taking the Clickart marker, and I'm going to use the side of it, just the edge of the marker, and just run it along that edge of the stamp. And I wasn't sure how dark it would show up, but it actually shows up really nicely. So I'm just making sure to cover that whole edge of the stamp. And then if you want, you can take it and just kind of like breathe your breath on it, just to give it a tiny bit of moisture. I don't think it super matters. And then we're just going to stamp it down. And wherever we stamp it, we're just going to be happy with it. We're not going to stress if something doesn't stamp perfectly, but look how nicely that's stamped. And now what we want to do is take our water brush. We've got some water in this, and if you feel like your water brush isn't wet, then you're going to take it and just squeeze it over your cloth. This is just my cloth that I have for like cleaning, so it's all stained but it's clean. And you're just going to squeeze it lightly. You don't want to squeeze while you're painting, otherwise you're going to have a big blob of water. And then we're just going to make sure there's not a whole bunch of water left on there. And then we're just going to take it, and you can see, like, even though that's been sitting there for a while, as soon as we pull our water brush over it, it watercolors so nicely. It's like those paint sheets when you were a kid and it had the little dots and then you filled it in. That's what it reminds me of. So we don't need to paint the rest of it because the rest of it is going to be paper pieced. But we do need to just stamp it so that we can cut it out. And we are going to stamp this on. So I don't know what the weather in everybody else's area is, but it is beautiful today in Calgary. And look how nicely. Now that's not going to move. If we tried to watercolor it, I'll just kind of show you. Like this is why you want to use a watercolor or a Bristol paper for your anything you want to watercolor. But this does a lovely stamped image in the color of our marker. And then the same thing here, because this is just going to add our little detail. And we don't have to go too crazy like for the top or bottom. We mainly want the sides. There we go. And then you just click it closed. Even if you wanted to, even if you forgot and left that open for a while, it does not dry out. And these are water-based, so they clean up really easy. So all I do is give them a little spray, and then I just wipe them with my cloth, and they're clean. And then we can put that right back in. All right, so we are just letting that dry, or you could take a dry heat tool and just dry it. It doesn't take long. It's probably dry now, but because I'm stamping over it, actually we are going to mask it off. So we're just letting it dry for a minute while we do this. We're going to take our pencil, and because we want to have just a little bit of an area that we're going to put onto our vase, and it doesn't have to be perfect. We are just drawing it. This is the Zebra mechanical pencil, the M701. I really love this pencil. I use it for drawing my journaling lines. If I'm scrapbooking or any kind, it's always good to have a nice pencil. And then I'll show you the trick that we're going to do to make it look like it matches our stamping. It's -12 in Edmonton, so it's funny because you know, like at the start of winter when it's -12, you're like, oh my goodness, it's so cold, it's -12, and by February it's like we could wear shorts today. Still -26 here. I hope it's coming for you, Lori. And these are the OLFA scissors. They're really nice little sharp scissors. I love doing fussy cutting. So I'm just cutting outside that line that we stamped on. And because I don't want this little lip at the top, I'm just going to trim that off. So I took my dog, she's going crazy. Like she's digging at the couch. I took her for a walk just before I went live because I thought, oh, that'll tire her out and then she'll just sleep during the live. I think it energized her. I opened the door, she had her harness on. She bolted, we ran around the block quickly. She did not want to come in, and I think she's just showing her disapproval at having to come into the house. So it is what it is. Okay, so we've cut this out, and just to mask kind of any of those white edges after you've cut it, you can just take your marker and go around the edges lightly. It just gives it a little bit more of a finished look. And even if you cut off a little bit of that stamped line, that works perfectly. And same for this. So that's just going to give us a little bit of an outline. Hello, Mitsiana. Hello, Katie. Hello, Ziomara. Hi, Lloyd. And Sylvia and Sherry. Welcome to everybody who popped in. Have you guys tried watercoloring with these beautiful art impression stamps? And you don't have to. If watercoloring is not your thing, then you can stamp them in like a whatever ink you would normally stamp and color them. You can color with, whatever markers you love to use. Okay, and then we're just going to take our tape runner. This is the white permanent, and it's got the individual little rectangles, which are nice because then you can just get little pieces on little areas that you need. And I had a pair of tweezers here, but of course, I'm not sure where they went. I did clean up my whole desk yesterday, and I'm very pleased with it. There, we'll just stick it on there, and then you've got a cute little vase, and that is going to go over top. And that way I felt like I didn't have to figure out the stems. Like I really like if the stems are showing, I love using these ones here that have like the stems are all nice and neatly organized. I tried to do that with this, and I mean, it's me, but it just looked like a hot mess. So that's why I thought I'm just going to cover that up with a nice little pretty vase, and we will stamp these and we won't worry about that. So I do have some little masks, if I can find where I put them. All right, so I just cut these out of some sticky notes, but you could use masking paper. And that's just going to cover our little lip because I didn't want the stems to go right through that spot. And now we get to this fun part where we're just going to create. So this is the flower that I have in the center. And I mean, this is seriously so easy. We don't need to do the whole stem because it's not going to show, but we'll do a little bit of the stem. And we're going to use the purple. Hello, Martha and Rhonda, Christine and Diana, Maury and Joy, and Sarah Grace. I love that name. And basically same thing. We're just going to color on an angle of the marker so that just so that that side of the marker is hitting all the raised parts of the stamp. And then we're going to grab a green for the stem. And again, these are Zebra Clickart markers. And then I'm just breathing on it, but I think either way would be fine. And we're just stamping it down and just giving it a little bit of pressure. And we are going to watercolor it, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And then again, to just clean this off, and just wipe it with some water. These are water-based. They clean off really nicely and easily. Even if you just had set them aside and clean them later, they're going to clean fine. All right, we can take our water brush. I feel like I've got a lot going on here, so I'm just going to move a couple things around. It drives me a little bit bonkers when I have like a super big mess. So I do try to clean up in between, especially in between projects. Do you guys do that, or does that bother you at all? And let's zoom in so we can see. So I'm just taking my brush. I didn't squeeze it or anything. And then you can see how quickly and easily that moves. I'm pretty much just staying in the lines, and as soon as that water brush touches that marker, it pulls the color in, but you have a little bit darker edge where you stamped with the marker. And if it blends a little bit more than you think that you thought it would, that's fine because it's a watercolor look. In between, like if I'm changing colors, hi Tamara, Then I do just dab off my brush so that it doesn't pull the colors together. And then I just very lightly colored in that stem. We're not going to do the center yet because we want to make sure that it's dry. So we can take we'll just take our Ranger Heat It tool. And I'm only doing this because this flower was a little tiny bit bigger, and we're going to put the mask on it and stamp over it. And you can see how this is just so relaxing. Okay, so we're going to place our little mask. I just stamped this on a piece of sticky note paper and put it there so that I could stamp over, and it doesn't look like the flowers are overlapped. Okay, and then the next one that I did was this one here. So cute. Hello, Elaine. And let's take our little stamp block. This one we did a lighter blue. So I'm going to color the top of it lighter. When I'm doing this, I love just putting on a movie or YouTube video of someone crafting. I'm going to do the little base of the flower green and then the stem. And just creating, and I find it just so relaxing. And basically, I'm just making sure that my flowers are inside the vase. That's my goal. I'm going to stamp another one of this. And so I'm using the same colors. If I wanted to change the colors, then I would wipe off my stamp. Okay. So we've got a couple more. Oh, there's obviously a dog. Sorry guys, just one sec. Coco, come lay down. Look. Hey. Coco. No. No, no, no. No. Here you go. Look. There. All right. I'm hoping you can still hear me and that my headphones didn't disconnect. It's like she sleeps most of the day and then has decided right now is the time she needs to bark. I may have to go get her. I'm gonna give her a second. Just one sec, guys. Okay. Hopefully this helps. Can you guys still hear me and see me? Now we're going to color our flowers. So we've got the little blue ones, and they are so pretty. Even if you go out of the lines, it is totally fine. Yeah. Yeah. She's just being bad right now. And I just saw like a huge dog walk by, so thank goodness I went to get her because she would have, her new thing right now is barking at people outside. And she really just wants to play with them. So there's our next flowers. And then I cut this little mask. So we're going to put this on. We barely used any water on that, so I think it's dry enough. Now we're going to put on this pretty flower. And this is just going to, let's see here. Where did I put it on the side? Kind of like this, I think. It really doesn't matter. If you get it in the jar, that counts. All right. So this one, I grabbed a different purple. And I put this one on. I think really bad with flower names too. Gardening's really not my thing. I love the idea and the look of gardening. Cocoa. But I don't know. Flowers are not as easy to me. So watercoloring with them is great. No. And we're going to stamp this on here. And then we're going to do one more. And do a green stem. I just picked out a few different greens. I think there's 36 different colors of these click art, I think. This one we'll kind of put on this side. And if I know that it's not, like this one didn't overlap this flower, so I didn't have to worry about putting a mask on it. Okay, and then we have one more flower that we'll do after that. And the last flower, it's a little bit darker color, so I didn't worry about masking the color. All right, so these are just lightly coloring them in. It is really so easy. So I do find with the click art markers, I mean, if you walked away for an hour and then came back and tried to watercolor, the ink would have probably pretty much dried and it would be hard to get it to move around. It might move around a little bit. You don't have to rush to paint it in, but I think just paint as you go. And then even there's a couple different areas that were overlapping the green stem, and I really didn't worry about that. And you could, I guess, be a little more careful about masking off like the stem and stuff, but it being a watercolor project, I think that gives you a little bit more freedom as well. And then we've got this, no. We've got this cute little flower. Coco, lay down. She has been stuck inside for, it feels like it's been cold for 2 weeks. And she's tiny, so she runs around the house and we run around after her and chase her, and that's her exercise. But she really loves being outside. All right, we're going to do a little bit darker color for this last flower. And then we'll just do one of these greens again. This one has some cute little, no, lay down, lay down. Come here, come here. We're going to overlap this a little bit, but because the flower is, God, just being so bad. Because the flower is dark blue, that blue is going to cover the purple. And we'll do one on the other side as well. Like when you have a 2-year-old at the store and they're just having like a complete fit. It's like, okay. Okay. And even though that looks weird right now, okay, you need to lay down. Lay down. Where's your stick? This is real life, people. Here's our pretty little flower, and you can see as soon as I start coloring it, it's going to cover up the purple. And we'll be able to, it'll look like you added that onto the front. Okay, and then we'll do these little leaves. We could add in some of those leafy areas or the leafy stems. Maybe I'll just add one on top. I feel like this flower could use something just above it. If I can figure out which way this mask went. That looks good. Which one was that? That was this one here. So Art Impressions does a regular live. I think it's probably on both Facebook and YouTube, and they show beautiful coloring with their stamps. I'm just going to use this piece of, it almost looks like a piece of grass here. We'll use that. Okay, and then we'll just kind of put that right in the center. And then maybe even just draw a couple smaller stems in the middle. That'll work. Let's see how this looks. What is everybody up to today? Are you doing any crafting? What's the next holiday? I guess St. Patrick's Day. Do you guys do any St. Patrick's Day cards? I'm just gonna like put a little, not that that's really attached to anything, but just kind of adds a little bit of greenery there. And I think that's, we could, now when you look at something and then you're like, oh, maybe it needs something there. And then you think, should I have stopped? Okay, this one goes kind of this way, and that's almost what I'm thinking, that I just need a little bit of a sticky note because I don't want to get it here, and I don't feel like cutting a mask right now. This is my plan. Okay, I'm just going to color the top of this and just go like that. You know, and even though it didn't cover the full way, it is completely fine because I can see where that's stamped and I can just pull it out. And then I'm just going to draw this in. Because you really have whatever artistic freedom you want. So you can kind of see how you can build that. I mean, you could add more, you could have a few different masks coming out. I'm echoing. Oh my goodness, I'm not echoing. Okay. Then we're going to take off this. It starts to come together and look amazing. And then, yeah, if I wasn't going to put this over top, I would probably, you know, bring the stems down and make it look a little bit more like a jar of flowers, a vase of flowers, and add some water in there. But we are going to put this patterned paper vase. I've got a little bit more than I needed there. And then we'll just place that right down on there. We can put it down right on top of that area we stamped. And I do want a little bit of a, like a floor that this is sitting on a table or something, just so it doesn't look like it's floating. So I'm just really lightly adding a little bit of that gray click art marker, and then I can just spread it out with my water brush. And it just kind of grounds whatever you've stamped there. And now that everything is pretty dry, we can just come in and add some yellow to the middle of those flowers. You don't really need to go over a little area, but I find that it does soften it and it just looks really pretty. Once we get those attached, then we'll come in with some stickles. So I'm going to zoom back out, move these around. Clean up a little bit there. It did finally warm up, Sandy. How are you doing? And let's see, we've got our card base. I'm really loving using the Creative Scrapbooker Super Stock as a card base. It comes in a 12 by 12 sheet, and it is so nice and sturdy. And I feel like it just, the cards are almost like luxury because they're not thin and going to fall over. What I do like to do as well is use the repositionable easy dots. And so you can put that into your card. You can see that it adds a little bit in there and then just press it down. But when you do want to take it off, you simply just rub it with your finger and it comes off. Like it doesn't stick, even if it's been on there for a long time. So I like using this for when I'm layering things on my card and even to take a photo of your card. Because sometimes if your card is open, you get kind of a weird angle when you're taking a photo. This just makes it nice and flat. Okay, so we're going to add our easy runner onto the background. We've got that beautiful paper pack from Art Impressions. That's the encouragement paper pack. And the patterns are just beautiful. Like, look at that pattern. And they're double-sided too. I think if it stays nice this weekend, everybody here is going to want to get outside for a bit. We've definitely been cooped up. There we go. We've got a couple different layers there. All right, we're going to pop this up with our crafty foam tape. And just apply this to our backing. And I just have some non-stick scissors for any foam tape. You could put another little area. This sticks really nicely. I've never had anything come up with either the Easy Runner or the foam tape. And the backing comes off so nicely, so I do like using that. As well, I've stamped a sentiment, so I just want to get the placement there. And this did not take long at all. You could create a whole scene, or a background of flowers would be beautiful. But if you do want to keep it a little bit more simple, you can see it does not take long at all. And then I've got the strips, these thin strips as well from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L. And these are really great for shakers, or if you have a thinner area that you need to pop up. Then you can just use those. I like having different sizes or widths and shapes, just because you never know exactly what you'll need to put on, and it's handy if you just have something you can grab to put on there. All right, so we've got that. So that sentiment, that is the encouragement sentiment set. And this one, I'll always be here for you, which is lovely. I love this too, Sending Love and Healing. I love that font. I love that there's lots of different fonts in here and lots of different messages. So all encouragements, but lots of different cards that you could send to people. And I stamped with the Ranger archival ink. This one is in Dusty Concord. I just felt like the purple went with that purple. And then we'll take our Ranger stickles. This is just one of the clear iridescent type ones. And I'm just going to add a couple little stickle areas to the center of those flowers. I guess on this one, that's funny, I didn't realize. In this one, I put a third of that blue flower, but this one I used the grass on the top. And then I didn't have any gems or enamel dots that coordinated, so I grabbed my tonic crystal drops, and you can see how nicely they coordinated. So we'll just squeeze some of these out. And the nice thing about this too is that you can make them as big or as small as you want. So I usually just do a circular motion. And you do, of course, want to set that aside to dry. And then we've got a little blue. It's really light blue. I'll tell you the names of these in a second here. And this little bit darker purple. So this one is plum pudding. This is the crystal drops. Duck egg blue and French lilac. So there's our beautiful card. You've got a little bit of glitter with the stickles. You've got some soft kind of accents with those Nouveau drops, and then the beautiful watercoloring with the art impression stamps and click art markers. So there you go. That is your card today. Hopefully you're inspired to do a little crafting this afternoon. Have fun and send a special card to someone or give a card to someone. I'm sure that they will love it. I hope that you guys all have a really great afternoon. Don't forget that Creative Scrapbooker Carnival is coming up soon. Calgary is coming up in April, and you can check out all the dates and all the information on the Creative Scrapbooker website. There are still, I think, a few spots for cropping if you want to come and crop with us. And then you can buy shopping passes and come and shop, and there's lots of shops set up. So we're really excited about that. There'll be lots of demos and just a really great atmosphere. So we are very excited. Um, Thank you so much, guys. Hope that you have a wonderful afternoon, and we'll talk soon. Okay, bye.